I don't think that's Chewbacca, but it might be.
Kind of looks like, well, maybe a far cousin. Anyway, here is the first game of this final best of 3 between Rhenia and Fried Bacon. It's going to be Rhenia here on the blue side with the cost control specialist, Sabretooth, Arclight, and Fried Bacon, Stormcaller, Crawler. I would say Fried Bacon here does have a good chance. 201 perhaps going to be able to get some wins in, because there is a decent bit of MMR difference between the two, but we do like an underdog story, so let's see what Rhenia can do.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. Rhenia's going to have a lot of money available. I'm going to be picking up crawlers for now. Sabers typically played in aggro, but you know, a lot of these newer players do feel more comfortable near the tower. And it looks like that's what we're going to get this game.
And let's see, double crawler pickup, I like that. So good fundamentals here from both players, picking up the one role that they're lacking. And who is favored here? I mean, it probably is Fried Bacon. Stonecaller might even be able to insta-lock the Sabers with the crawlers being this far back. Might have preferred those kind of right behind the towers here to prevent this from happening.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Their cost control as well, so going to take a pretty heavy beating, even splashing some of those crawlers. And kind of really good timing here for Fried Bacon. You can see the second wave of that crawler coming in while the Saber goes down. And pretty much it's just going to be Stormcallers against Arclights, with the Storms probably taking the lead.
Good round here. Going to basically
600.
equalize the hit points.
It's way above average, right? You don't usually take 600, so yeah, that instant lock, quite a problem. We'll see if it gets fixed or not. Rhenia going to be picking up the laser sight there. I saw the sell button get activated. Let me hide this panel. We're selling Saber. That's actually not a bad move. They're not really good in long-range battles. And picking up their own storms, it looks like.
What about Assault Storm, though?
Would be nice.
Could have been spicy, but...
Could happen.
Going to pick the more solid lines, perhaps, or kind of easier to pilot line. And Stonecaller Mirror, I quite like that. Crawler, though, again, going to be all the way in the back, so that means that this insta-lock problem isn't going to be solved.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fine, though, because at least one of them was sold, and then we'll sell the other one next turn, and, like, the Saber's really only there to kill, like, the Arclight. I mean, I guess it's a good tank, so you're kind of wasting its tank value, but probably not the end of the world.
Poor Sabers in Standard, man.
Yeah. Like, some players try it, right? They, like, buy a lot of them, and then they, like, intercept the missiles if anybody dares to get too many, but not
yeah, I was gonna
common.
mention it, but Rhenia doesn't run intercept, so I guess selling here is the only option.
Yeah. Well, not a bad move. I mean, you got tons of cash, right, with cost control, so we'll see what they're going to go for.
Stonecaller pickup also kind of nice for Rhenia, now that we have the Double Fang edition. We'll give those Stormcallers something to shoot at, and perhaps even splash the Arclights behind.
Yeah, not too shabby. That Arclight's down to half health on the left, so once the Arclights kill the Crawlers, they can start working on that other Arclight. If the Storms don't get it themselves, looks like it's honestly pretty similar position here. Like, I think it's going to be a Storm battle, but we do have two Arclights on the left, so it should be going to Rhenia here.
Really nice bounce back from the looks of things. One Stormcaller left alive on the right, and left side, it's an even fight.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel like anybody could win. Oh, not really great shots there from Bacon. Now Rhenia's probably got it. Surely.
Stormcaller on the right, a little drunk, unable to finish off that tower, so...
Oh! Okay.
Okay, we'll be able to kill one Stormcaller in return, but... Close fight so far. Good stuff from Rhenia to be able to equalize the board state.
Unit reinforcements come in. We see one giant picked up. Or, sorry, one available, rather. And Bacon and... No, just Bacon going to be going for it. Rhenia going for the Phoenixes. What do you think is better here between the Melter and the Phoenix? Like, of course, Phoenixes are good against Melter. Oh, wait, it gets sold. All right, forget the question.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as well. What is the idea here? I actually think that the melter wasn't worth the most, though, was it? I think that there was a level 3 Phantom that was worth a bit more. But oh well, maybe he just wants to have that unlocked for a potential repurchase later on.
Yeah, honestly, it could very well be true.
Saving a lot of money here. Okay, we'll go for triple deployment. Double crawler on the front line to distract the storms, I guess, and picks up 1 Stang to have at least some anti-air. But man, look at that. Triple Phoenix, another one purchased at level 2 for Rhenia.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Leaning so heavy into those Phoenixes. We saw it pop up Vulcan's 71% win rate, 67% hacker win rate, so we'll be curious to see if we'll see either of those units there for Rhenia. I do think Vulcans would be pretty strong. There's quite a lot of chaff, and the Arclight's not really capable of clearing it too quickly for the Phoenixes.
Yeah, I mean, this board looks pretty good here. Arclight range, probably something that Rhenia will want to pick up, especially after seeing more chaff and the Mustangs, but this is looking really strong right now. Rhenia kind of running away with it. Tons of damage going to be coming in at the end of round 3.
Yeah, Phoenixes, when masked early like this, are capable of dealing tons of player damage, Stormcallers as well. So that's quite a nice lead there Rhenia's picked up.
Heavy armor and barrier.
No hacker.
Fried Bacon already was floating a heavy armor here before.
Oh yeah, that's true. And has the melter unlocked. Gets that Typhoon.
But man, what is he setting up for? Because, I mean, Typhoon, not that great in standard, and melter wouldn't be my go-to into a board of triple Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hard to say.
Going to pick up Marksman unlock. Range on the Phoenixes I like. Range on the Arclights I like a lot as well. And then just going to have some late Arclights picked up here. Very late Arclights for Rhenia. And a late Fang as well.
Yeah, those are really late Arclights, which are pretty good if either you have Arclights that are too far forward, or there's or there's crawlers that are coming in like really late. I don't know if either of those things are true, but either way, adding more Arclights, very powerful here. And there's also like a Photon and still the heavy armor, so Fried Bacon, kind of some question marks there as to what they're going to do.
Triple blue Marksman pickup from Fried Bacon. An immediate range on the on the Marksman, excuse me. He does have some really nice techs to be able to combat this loadout from Rhenia. Has the double shot against the shield on the Phoenixes, has the EMP against the potential quantum reassembly. The only downside is his chaff clear is really subpar compared to Rhenia's.
Yeah. The Arclight's looking kind of decent, good against those Mustangs as well. The Typhoon in the back, not really that strong. The Storm Missiles coming in, tons of Phoenixes to shoot it down. And this just maybe another round of Stormcaller surviving and a handful of Phoenixes.
And damage going to start to rack up. This is probably around 1,000 even.
Yeah.
Fried Bacon going to go down to sub 2k.
Really not too healthy at this point. Is floating that heavy armor and the Photon emission as more unit reinforcements come down.
And are you looking at anything here? Scorpion? I mean, I was gonna say Scorpion Siege mode could like be cute, but there's not that much to shoot at actually, apart from like the Typhoons and the Arclights and Fangs.
Yeah, nothing like strongly jumped out to me. There's like the question of whether you would like to flank with any of these units, which apparently Bacon is looking at here with the Rhinos. I do think the Phoenixes, though, may turn and may make it look not too good. I do like the Vulcans coming out for Bacon here, as they have, you know, the Photon emission, the heavy armor, and a ton of chaff coming out here for Rhenia.
Yeah, no range on those Vulcans just yet. Again, the Phoenixes are starting to pick up some levels, so the damage is definitely there. This Rhino play, not the best, but it's worth a sizable amount of money, and Fried Bacon already selling out of those.
Yeah, not a bad sell option. The Scorpion's
Whoa.
interesting. Armor picked up.
I mean, into the Vulcan, that could be really nice. Of course, the level 2 marksmen kind of don't care about it too much. I think they have the DPS to be able to take this down.
Yeah.
And the Stormcallers, of course, will lock onto it pretty quick as well.
Yeah, I think the Scorpions are not going to look good until they click, like, Siege or Range or something like that. We're ranging the Fangs even. Kind of a interesting move there.
Maybe he's afraid of potential, like, Wasp play, so at least it protects against that. Incendiary Bomb, though, going to land very nicely. Burning Stormcallers, burning all the chaff on the right side.
Pretty nasty. Maybe the Fang range going to keep them behind the fire a little bit, so getting some nice value there. But yeah, this fire is pretty nasty. It's going to open up the Phoenixes soon enough. The Marksman going to be able to take down some of that pesky player HP that's been getting them oh so low.
Phoenixes will eventually be able to get there, but not that much surviving for Rhenia, so his player damage per round kind of slowing down now. Fried Bacon perhaps going to be able to turn the page next round.
Yeah, it definitely needs to. I mean, really low HP here, and with those Storms and Phoenixes. Okay, the Orbital helps. They both pick it up. We're able to take down a lot of Phoenixes there, and of course Bacon can bubble his Marksmans and Storms, so maybe not going to take too much damage from it.
Bacon also not using the Photon Emission last round.
I mean, he hasn't used it all game. He picked it up and never used it.
Oh, my days.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Are we going to get some shields? I kind of do want them here for Bacon.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Going to
both
range
players
the
maybe.
Vulcan.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, it's expensive, so maybe it could have been delayed, but
Marksman levels are great.
yes, but get those bubbles, please. There's the Photon. That's helpful, but get those bubbles. Temp range, love that too.
I mean, look, the Marksman can survive one bombard, so maybe he gets fortunate enough that his Marksman survive on the right side, but yeah, not grabbing the bubble here could be a mistake. Oh, he will loan. Okay, loan into bubble.
Nice. This is a good line, actually, overall.
Yeah, good move
Yeah.
to try and loan here when you're low on hit points. Round 6 is acceptable for a loan.
Yeah, just quite like the entire turn. Really nice to see here. I imagine they do well here. You can see the orbital on the left here. Just going to kill so much of Rhenia's stuff. Hopefully getting some Phoenixes as well. It's been killing chaff for now. Of course, a lot of RNG here. Taking down the Storms, really nice. The Phoenixes are injured. Down one goes, injuring the other bird. And yeah, I mean, should be winning the left here.
Looking quite good. Right sides. Finally, the Scorpion will go down. One shield will fall, though, and Rhenia here wasn't loaning just yet. We'll take down a Vulcan.
One more bird. Down they go.
And
It's like
all right.
1,000.
Yeah, pretty big round. Of course, lots of investment. We have the loan, 2 shields, the oil also being used.
Yeah. Very, very expensive. Extended range Vulcan could be a strong option. Assault Scorpion with siege mode. Imagine.
It is really good,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit sad that we have the armor enhancement now, because it does make all the other stuff more expensive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Blue car.
He's a knower.
He is a knower.
500k hit points coming right up.
Yeah, just got to click that armor if you want all the HPs, which, you know, you probably do want them. It only costs 200 to generate so much HP, and then you can kind of justify putting it all the way up at the line, kind of keeping everything alive and dishing out the remaining 1,000 they need.
Also just good to have the armor against like the small stuff, the Vulcan damage, the Typhoon, the Mustang, the Fang. So
Yeah,
it's
it
even more
adds up.
effective hit points. But man, look at that EMP marksman being picked.
Yeah, that's going to be
Probably
helpful.
against the Scorps, but yeah, that's going to help quite a bit. Or Phoenix production as well now.
Yeah, how many will come out? That is the question.
I mean,
Not
one,
many, right?
maybe two, but I think that'll be just about it.
Yeah, you may be right. Like, we never got those upfront crawlers that we've been talking about sort of all game. And so here comes one marksman. It's got its eyes on the War Factory, and it gets shot. And I imagine that thing's going to be living for a long time. So that War Factory is done producing birds, and that was a large amount of investment getting no profit.
And yeah, the slowdown here, not great for the factory either. It does have a lot of DPS available, but struggling to kind of get it down to where it needs to be. The Vulcan's still alive. And importantly, the Vulcan's shooting fire missiles. Even though it's locked onto the Vulcan itself, that fire does not discriminate and will just burn anything in the general vicinity of where it lands.
Yeah, I think Bacon's gonna... Yeah, Bacon's lived against this, I guess what you could call a gut shot. It wasn't a complete gut shot, but I don't know. It makes me nervous. Like, is there a chance that Bacon can just come back now?
Oh, I would definitely say that he can. Has high-level marksman. The EMP is fantastic. Of course, Rhenia could go for like Photon as well. He does run it. It's a bit expensive, but if you think that your opponent is not going to rely on, say, a melter purchase, then Photon could still get the job done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd prefer like beaconing it backwards or putting a Fang in front, that sort of thing. But yeah, we'll see. Not a lot of money to work with here, although selling it does give you more money. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's cool. I like this.
And we do get a melter purchase. The one issue with this, though, is if Rhenia doesn't win, he loses 600 next turn.
Yes. Like, yeah, it's really important that you either deal a crap load of damage, get them down to like 1 HP, hopefully not lose, of course, and hopefully just win.
This is so tricky, because the thing is, this wouldn't be the worst if you went Spawn Factory, but the armor is like really useless at this point.
Completely, yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of birds that are going to come out. The birds, of course, importantly, have range. There is some late fangs, meaning that, you know, there is going to be a lot of things for the Phoenixes to chew through if you end up losing your arc lights. Now, there are late arc lights from Rhenia, so they're sort of prepared for a lot of different outcomes here. So I guess, yeah, we'll have to see if Mass Phoenix is able to get it done. There is a lot of marksmen.
Well, let's see. No EMP on the Phoenixes yet. That could be a nice addition, but obviously Rhenia here wants to close things out this round. Fortresses, factories, even bigger units, are producing a lot of Phoenixes this time. Not quite EMP just yet.
A lot of late fangs, though, trickling in. They may eventually step into their own fire, but that may not matter as they are getting heavily fired upon by the war factories and all the Phoenixes. I mean, at this point, it's basically a lot of Phoenixes against marksmen and giants. It's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, right side kind of looking fine here for that onslaught of Phoenixes, but left side decidedly in favor of Fried Bacon. Still has 3 marksmen alive and a melter as well. That debuff timing fantastic, and actually it'll be enough for the right side to be victorious as well.
Wow, the comeback is real, man. This war factory not really working out. That's 2 rounds of no success, and as you mentioned, 600 upkeep. 600. That is a lot of money to lose.
Yep, starting the round there with 1300 against Bacon's 1900. You do feel that. Sledgehammer, though, is a nice pack to get, I would say, for Rhenia. Very good against the melting points.
It's pretty nice. I like the snap pick. I think you're either looking to sell or to pick the tanks yourself. Steel balls, I think they're not really that good, but maybe just being sold. Ooh, now that is some copium.
Yeah, that is a spicy flank, but with nothing in front, I don't think this factory will be all too scared.
Some wasps coming out. I mean, there's a
Okay.
lot of fangs and a lot of marksmen.
Oh, shielded fang.
Ooh.
That's
I'm-
nasty.
I'm really feeling this for fried bacon. Even with this kind of wasted steel ball flank, in my opinion, I think they're pretty heavily favored here.
Yeah, it looks really good. There's nothing really on the board for Rhenia that deals with late shielded fangs, and I mean, he does use the oil. Part of it will land, but the thing about these fangs is they probably won't be walking that far up anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the Scorpions didn't really work out this game as well. Kind of a heavy investment with little to no payoff.
Yeah, and it kind of cost him, right? Because I think the only reason Bacon clicked EMP was to deal with the Scorpion armor, and then it turned out it was like the perfect move against the gut shot with the factory as well.
That is pretty funny, yeah. In come the wasps, but yeah, they're kind of taking heavy fire here. There's still the war
Although-
factories coming on in.
I will say, left side or right side is looking kind of heavily Rhenia favored.
Yeah, I don't know what
Just
changed.
blasting his way through.
Pretty crushing. They're not... Oh, one of them's EMP'd, so not producing birds for the moment. Both of them EMP'd, but down goes the tower. 9-second debuff as we close in on the melter. Tons of birds available, and maybe the comeback was not real. Rhenia gonna close it out.
What a game. Yeah, the shielded wasp there actually getting it done, preventing these marksmen from locking the factories, and that's what sealed the deal. I really thought the shielded fangs would do more there as well, but
Yeah.
this is, yeah, what a game for Rhenia.
So do you think most of that was the wasp, or do you think that the blue sledges were part of it too?
Bit of both. Bit of both. I think the shielded wasp definitely was a meaningful addition to the board. Probably wouldn't have been able to get the same result without them.
Okay. I'm curious to see how this game 2 goes. Rhenia going for more Stormcallers. That is their favorite unit. It's going to be a Stormcaller duel here, so I think once again, long-range battle.
Looks like it. A little bit of a difference immediately, though, with outside Stormcallers for Fried Bacon and inside Stormcallers for Rhenia.
Yeah, it may look like a minor thing, but it's actually, yeah, quite a big distinction as the aggro changes quite a bit, as well as your ability to distract them. So be interested to see how that plays out. I tend to like outside storms in long-range battles. Inside, I mean, I don't even know if I like inside for defense as well, but maybe.
I don't mind. I still put them on the inside if I kind of know that I'm going to defend. But yeah, in this mirror, I think outside Stormcaller definitely will be favored. Also, the Fangs currently being in front of the tower will give some really good lock-ons for Fried Bacon. So he should be favored in this round.
Yeah, he's got that crawler coming in. Really good timing. The Arclight, will it shoot the crawler? It does. Okay, if it got locked on that Arclight, it would be pretty bad news. We see a late Fang coming in, though. For Rhenia on the left. That's going to be pretty sweet. Arclight gets one shot before it gets taken down. So I guess, after all, Rhenia will be favored to take the round.
Yeah, somewhat surprised there. Arclights in the perfect positions, going to be able to clutch up, get rid of all that chaff efficiently before they go down. And yeah, never mind. Rhenia off to a good start yet again.
And it's an aerial versus giant game, so... You know, there's potential for Overlords, Abyss, that sort of thing. And
Ooh.
improve
Phoenix.
I mean, Phoenix was working out great last game. And imagine last game you had improved Phoenixes being summoned from those 3 war factories.
I mean, this card is very, very good. It did get nerfed down from getting 50% attack to 20%. But the important thing about that enhancement is the 250% increased hit points. Kind of deals with all of the counters to Phoenix. You can't Forte it, Marksmen struggle with it, Mustangs struggle with it, and it just gets to such a scary state once scaled and teched.
Yeah, you feel so good taking those levels. It is expensive though, so not going to come out this round. Honestly, you don't really need a bird this round. It would probably give you an air cheese win most likely, but, you know, Rhenia may be able to get the win without it.
I like this. Just gonna make use of the mass recruit, get a bit more chaff, go symmetrical, defend the flanks, pick up a crawler as well, and things are looking good.
It's a pretty good setup for both players, to be honest. They just have really good chaff timings. Maybe a bit arc light here for Bacon. You know, they've got the extra arc light here for Rhenia, and that's going to help him probably have the edge in the chaff battle. Now it's just trailing fangs for both players, but slightly more meat here for Rhenia.
Yeah, left side still has 2 arc lights, and that's going to be able to clean up those fangs and should mean that these Stormcallers on the left do prevail. Right side, kind of the reverse story. Fried Bacon still has some fangs distracting the storms. We'll be able to win that, and I think this is just going to come down to who has the better aiming Stormcallers.
Oh, yeah, indeed. 3 against 4 as we crisscross the towers. Looks like Bacon may get a shot off. Oh my god, the best. Oh wait, the storms are stuck on each other. Okay.
Well, 4 does beat 3 after all, even though the tower timing there seemed to be favored for Rhenia, but
yeah, that was pretty dramatic. Fortified Arclight, kind of a fun card. Maybe not the best in a long-range battle. Amplified Core picked up. Keep in mind, we have Aerial Specialist and Giant Specialist for both players, and so, you know, equipment, pretty efficient.
I think when you go Improved Phoenix, though, you don't necessarily want that card or that item, just because, like, all of the bonuses stack additively, so you get a bit less value out of it.
Yeah, you don't really want it on bird. It would be for like, yeah, like an overlord or something. But I mean, we may never see that come out, right? I'm expecting this to be like just phoenixes with arc lights and storms. But you know, we may see the War Factory summon phoenixes once again.
And that is a very neat interaction. It's something that you used to see a lot back when Spawn Factory was more popular and also stronger than it is now, where you would just see an improved Sledge, an improved Steel Ball, an improved Phoenix, pick it up, and you already knew what you were going to do.
Is that Amp Core going to get used? I guess it's just going to be floated here. Given that they are Giant Specialists, we don't really know what their plan is. You know, Vulcan would be perhaps the most normal. But, you know, we could see anything, right? Giant Specialist has so many options. We could see, like, a Sandworm come down, perhaps. Although, they are cognizant that eventually that improved Phoenix will be coming out.
Yeah, and I think that's why we see the triple Marksman here for Fried Bacon, kind of trying to prepare. If you can pick up a level, that would be nice, very helpful. But, man, so many Fangs still alive, and the Marksman without the range in the danger zone, going to eat some missiles from the storms. And yeah, the ranged Arclight play here for Rhenia working out perfectly.
Yeah, seriously. Picking up good experience. That blue Arclight already halfway to level 3 and was already kind of a menace that round.
Unit reinforcements, here we go. Triple Mustang, the pickup for Fried Bacon.
Nice, a lot of deployments there. That's going to really up the value of things like buying arc lights. It also makes the Phoenixes like a tiny bit worse. We see a lone come out, trying to really get those giants online. I imagine that's to get the range enhancement tech on them. I guess you could also go for like incendiary bombs, but not sure what else that 300 could be for. Maybe Mustang range?
Oh, gonna go incendiary bomb yet again as his first tech, which we did see in the previous game too.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's gonna look incredible since, you know, Rhenia just can't see it coming, right? I mean, the counter would be like a crawler all the way at the front, something like that. But yeah, this is just gonna burn everything.
Should be a really, really great tempo turn. Now, of course, getting into that improved Phoenix eventually should be quite useful against the Vulcans. Phoenixes tend to do really well, and I mean, you also get the 20% bonus attack, so
yeah, it does have the techs that are good with it, right? They have the energy shield, so doubling that massive health pool on the improved Phoenixes is a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's like one of those few techs in the game that like doesn't give a flat like bonus to your hit points, like 100% bonus, but it just literally doubles it. So
yeah,
pairs really nicely with that 250% increase from the card.
The Vulcan's looking pretty dang good here, still sitting above half HP. And I think neither of them are falling. That's going to be a good 1,000, 200, 500, something like that. And a great way to start swinging back.
Fantastic round. He did loan, but I think that was worth it considering the amount of tempo gained.
Definitely agree there. Ooh, barrier. Really nice there for Bacon. Just a really powerful item. It's like, it's almost like you get a better than a bubble every single round. So if you look at it as a pure econ card, it's like almost like making you 100 per round.
Yeah, it's one of the best items, I think, on Vulcan. And Amp Core also up there, which is the other item Fried Bacon has. So couldn't be happier here, I think, with the items he's gotten so far as a giant spec.
It's looking pretty good for them overall, I think. I'm curious to see if Rhenia will feel confident on how to deal with the incendiary bombs and these high-level Vulcans. Like, we need to see forward bubbles or, like, a chaff all the way at the front. And considering there's 50 money left and none of those answers, I feel like it's another turn of their chaff and their Mustangs just getting burned alive. Plus the storms.
He does have the crawler all the way up front, so that should...
Oh, this underground threat.
Fire missiles? Yeah.
Yeah. Does that work in time, or does the Vulcan shoot?
It should. I don't think the missiles have enough range here.
Ooh,
yeah.
Beautiful. That is so nice. What a great move.
Fantastic play. Going to burn, not even that much, but at least it prevents the first missiles from burning Rhenia's own board.
I mean, it's just so crazy. Like, instead of getting burned yourself, you burn some of the enemy stuff. Like, what a great swing. Yep. I have to imagine that makes them have a chance on this round, but I mean, a pretty deadly front line here with the Vulcans and then the Marksman to back it up.
Marksman, though, not quite able to connect with those Phoenixes that now have the range, and they'll be able to take down the Giants. Keep in mind, look at that. Level 1 Marksman needing 3 shots to take down 1 Phoenix. Oh, actually, looks like that was 2. But
it might have been injured from a Mustang. But yeah, in either case, it's painful to get the job done. Phoenix picks up a level there at the last second. And these Phoenix levels are really, really efficient. Like, you need the DPS against the Vulcan, and, the health actually does stuff, right? Because the Marksmans are just not one-shotting.
Round 6. Bunch of very tanky units being offered between Sandworm, Saber, Melting Point, and Wraith. It's gonna be the Wraith here for Rhenia, but that looks like a Cell and sounds like a Cell as well.
Yeah, really sellable options here. Maybe the Wraith gonna be capped. I love the Marksman range here. Let me check that breakpoint here. Yeah, they do 2-shot the birds. Maybe that's something you can manipulate with like the health enhancement or whatever, but yeah, pretty interesting.
And let's see, we get a crawler up front. I like that for Rhenia. Middle is a little bit less vulnerable to that fire, so making sure that those initial incendiary bombs don't land on top of your army is rather important. More Phoenixes now picked up, elite recruited even.
Ooh.
I mean, look at those 10k hit points a pop.
That's really cool, yeah. By the way, the crawler up front could also be like 2 on the sides, and then you get to burn some of those corner crawlers from Bacon. But it is more expensive to deploy more crawlers, so certainly don't mind this. You eventually need it anyhow, so
We are going to get the oil.
Pretty nasty.
Late Wraith being kept by Fried Bacon, but that shouldn't do too much into these high-level Phoenixes. And, I mean, their damage is starting to ramp up very quickly here. 8k a piece. I don't think those Vulcans will survive very long.
Yeah, I think the Wraith keep was kind of a pretty big mistake. Okay, we can see it starting to get attacked now. really didn't tank that long. You know, it represented a lot of money as well, 600. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe they'll adjust and sell it next round.
Man, look at this poor level 1 marksman needing so many shots just to take down one level 2 improved Phoenix, and it's just air supremacy here for Rhenia. He hasn't even clicked that energy shield yet, and I would love to see it next turn. Incredibly cheap, and you double the hit points on these monsters.
It's so efficient. Like, you're just paying 400 to get a ridiculous amount of effective HP. And what really matters is just how many shots it takes for the marksmen. And it takes a long time, man. Even defensive tactics here, if you really want to get a few more extra shots out of those marksmen.
Absorption module picked up for Phoenix. That's spicy.
It's like, makes more sense than normal, you know, with the improved, but not sure it really does a heck of a lot.
I mean, look, like it's a cool play, but just to clarify for the people who are wondering, taking absorb on a slow firing unit tends to not be that ideal. It's good on things like Melter and Steel Ball because they attack really quick, so they keep topping up their hit points constantly, but on units like a Phoenix, can be more difficult to make use of it. But hey, maybe they can kind of win the fight against the marksman down the line. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see if he actually gets value out of it. But in any case, I feel like some sort of critical mass and levels has been created here by Rhenia. I think he's going to be feeling good about that. Like, the DPS is there, the health efficiency with that energy shield is online. Tons of Mustangs, by the way. Just trying to intercept not only the Stormcallers, of course, but actually trying to intercept that fire. And fire from Vulcans is one of the more difficult things to intercept. There's a ton of missiles. They have a decent health pool, so don't know about it. We'll see. At least there's no oil bomb available, so maybe that'll help. Also, this tech doesn't get affected at all by that smoke that landed, so if there are things to intercept, the Mustangs will still do so at 150 meter range, in spite of sitting inside of smoke.
Yeah, let's see. They got to stay alive as well. I mean, perhaps they're not even, you know, the important thing to look out for. It's just, once we clear the Mustangs, we just need the Phoenixes to just murder the rest. I mean, there are trickling Fangs. Those are annoying. But we still have Arc Lights for a few more moments here. The last one just going down now. And so the question is, can the birds take down this massive Vulcan marksman fleet?
I mean, they are tanking for an awful long time. It feels like the chaff and the ground units have died ages ago for Rhenia, but here we are still looking at those Phoenixes holding on. They won't quite be able to do it though, and with 2 Giants left alive, that damage is racking up for Fried Bacon, sending Rhenia down to 1300.
I think that Mustang line really not working out, and the double shot looking really good there for Bacon. Fire here, gonna be helpful if it does land. I think a lot of this gonna come down to like who bubbles better. You know, this round is just so important. Both players relatively low in one-shot range for sure, although maybe Bacon pretty likely to survive against all the lightweight units.
And let's see, I mean, Rhenia might not even shield here, since, or at least not this far in the back, so that could be insane value for Fried Bacon. Fire not looking too bad for Rhenia either, though. By the looks of things, part of that will land.
Yeah, it's really not too bad. Whoa, they're getting their own Vulcan fire. That's so interesting.
Taste of their own medicine, huh?
I kind of like it, but I think it's quite critical that they get 2 bubbles down. 2 bubble down? I can't speak. 2 bubbles down. Oil, though, instead. Are they going to connect? Yeah, going for that connection.
Okay. That's cheeky. I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing that they threaded the needle. Like, it does connect.
Such a nice move.
Yeah, it's really cool.
If the marksmen are gone, then That's a lot of DPS vanished. That's supposed to deal with these Phoenixes.
Yep, down the 2 marksmen go. I mean, there's just like a really big lack of chaff now, and that's the only thing you need to do as this improved Phoenix player. Get rid of the chaff. They've certainly done so. The Vulcan's going to be falling pretty quick. The birds are incredibly tanky, and there's just not enough marksmen to take them down.
Looking good. Late Fangs, though, left side, still being a little bit annoying, and EMP has been picked up as a third tech on the marksman. That will put these Phoenixes at more of a disadvantage, losing the range, losing the shield too. But
yeah,
Rhenia gets out ahead. Not the biggest win, but it equalizes the hit points as we enter round number 9.
that actually doesn't bode too well for Rhenia, because that was like, you know, the oil fire. Although I guess on the one hand, like they have the Vulcans with incendiary bombs now, so like I don't know. The late Fangs though looked pretty spooky.
Well, what about late Wasp? Unit drops show up, and you have to imagine that with both of these boards basically being on fire constantly, these Mustangs won't be able to do much against the Wasp drop.
I'm pretty concerned, yeah. Meanwhile, Rhenia goes for the Fire Badgers, which really don't look that good, even if you are taking them purely for the tank value. I think the Marksmen have acquired so much DPS at this point that I'm not really sure the value is there.
Yeah, they might have crossed the corner. They're also kind of preventing something like the Quantum Reassembly from being picked, because the only anti-air on the board here for Fried Bacon is those marksmen. So if a Phoenix get hit, it gets EMP'd, and then yeah, you won't be able to get value out of that tech.
I do like that. Yeah, you're taking away a gut shot. Whoa, 4th tech, that costed what? 1,000? But, you know, it's a pretty strong tech. The damage certainly matters. The range is great. So let's see if these massive marksmen can take it down.
Late Wasp, by the way, here, not picked up for Rhenia. I'm a bit concerned about those Wasps. Although Fried Bacon didn't invest into more, there's no shield available either, so maybe the Phoenixes can just kind of power through them.
We never ranged the Mustangs either. So do they just
they're
run
just AM devices.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, some of them will stay back, because again, that interception gives them 150 range temporarily. Whenever they need to shoot down stuff, so that does help. And you can see right side Wasps are actually gone. Left side now has been dealt with 2. And again, it just comes down to this one late Fang pack right side. Even having that portable shield now, that's really hurting the Phoenixes.
These marksmen's out of control. It seems like they're just scaling better despite not being improved. I mean, keep in mind, they are quad teched. And where does that leave us? Quite low. Oh my gosh.
We will go to round 10, but I have to say, this looks so much better right now for Fried Bacon. He really seems to have turned the page, and the marksmen are completely unleashed.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's it just like you said, a lot of it comes down to that late Fang. I don't know how you can get the efficient kills on them. Like, is it a matter of ranging your Mustangs? Is it a matter of, you know, buying more Vulcans, that there's just constantly more streams of fire? Hard to say.
You could try to maybe go like Fire Stormcaller as well. They seem to stay somewhat safe, but yeah, it just feels like the only thing you can do is try to get more sources of fire, later sources of fire, maybe even like ultra late Vulcans. But let's see, we have Ion Blast for both players, quad shield now for Fried Bacon.
Yeah, those shields are gonna get heavily injured by the ions. That's nice, at least. But you know, this is probably the final round, so not the end of the world to lose a bunch of economy. The Wasps?
No shields.
Are they gonna be good? You want them as far back as possible. There are Mustangs to get the job done, so I'm not sure it's gonna pay off. I almost liked like late Fangs of their own. Like if they're OP for Bacon, then you know, why can't they be OP for Rhenia?
Yeah, that's a fair point, and he has a decent amount as well. Like 2 fangs already behind the tower, so add 2 more, click fang shield. Should be decent.
So much fire on the ground here. The fangs are really what it's all about. The crawlers surely already gone at this point. The ion not quite hitting the phoenixes, kind of a crucial moment there. The final wasps are going down. We still see some level 1 whites on the left getting picked apart by the marksmans, but look at those late fangs coming on in. Although, look at the mustangs on the left as well. There's a crap load of them.
Yeah, there's someone managing to survive. A little bit of fire though landing, and the debuff going to hurt a lot. That Vulcan is on 1 hit point, but that's all it needs to kind of chew through all of these remaining ground units.
This was really close, man. Like, I think Bacon's got it, but that was, yeah, that could have gone either way.
Incredibly close, and Fried Bacon strikes back, meaning that we will not get 3 sweeps today. Instead, we'll have more content with a 3rd game to decide this final show match. Number 3 between these two, the decider, Rhenia versus Fried Bacon. Looking at these packs, we do have a giant spec there for Rhenia, but he's just going to go for Stormcaller Arclight, as it has served him pretty well in these games.
Yeah, favorite unit, Stormcaller. You know, I think that's basically how simple it is. Bacon, though, gonna maybe have to try something a little bit more aggressive here.
I mean, we did see Rhenia in game 1, right? With the Saber into the cell, I believe, so...
Yeah.
Could be a play for Fried Bacon as well.
Yeah, you may be right about that. They haven't moved their units quite yet. The crawlers going behind the towers. Okay, there's the sign. It is indeed defensive sabers. Although it's pretty far forward. But yeah, I'm not sure if they'll sell them or not, you know?
I mean, I feel like you kind of have to. Although he does run the missile interceptor, so... that could be an idea if he wants to keep them, and the Stormcallers are going to create problems, which I imagine they will.
Yeah, this is looking good for Rhenia so far. A little bit of a favored match.
Slowly moving further back on that board for Fried Bacon. They're now on the same line as the Arclights.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we saw the early locks. The locks, you really don't want the sabers to be locked. There's even 3 Arclights, so like you really do want those connections if you can.
All right, let's see. Round 1 here should be favored for Rhenia.
I think so. Like the Arclights are pretty well prepared here. Ooh, taking a bit of collateral damage there on that Arclight. I'm sure all the chaff will fall, but the end game of 2 Stormcaller packs probably pretty favored against the Saber and Arclights.
Yeah, some pretty nice salvos there. The Sabers will be able to clean up at least some of the storms, but will go down in the process.
Yeah, maybe the Saber actually gets the tower even. Probably the case.
Looks like it does clean things up. I mean, Saber levels could be really meaningful here.
Yeah. They can be quite good. There still is like the missile interceptor possibility as well. I mean, I think people kind of overclick it at the lower MMR bands against, you know, sort of a harmless amount of storms, but we'll see.
Now, Fried Bacon, by the way, is a missile strike specialist, and this is the ideal pack to face with that. Being able to kill those Stormcallers is such a massive boon.
Whoa, did we pick Void Eyes?
Yep. That is the Void Eye in standard.
All right, let's join prediction, vote for Bacon.
Hey, that's toxic.
Yeah, they're not the best long range units, right? Like they're pretty low range, not super fast. Sort of like maybe worse marksmen.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is indeed they have less base range than something like Arclight, so normally you want your DPS units to stay safe behind the chaff clear, but that's not really possible in a long range scenario like this one for the Void Eyes.
Down go most of the Fangs, and with the Phantom Ray in the back, have to imagine a default air win is probably the most likely outcome. I mean, maybe, Bacon just wins the ground altogether, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah, ground here should look pretty strong as well. Adding 2 Stormcallers of his own.
Yeah.
Really good against this board. The Void Eyes clumping up around the arcs, going to get hit by those missiles, and...
Yeah. I mean, for any non-knowers, like if you haven't been playing since the Void Eye patch and everything like that, like this will be a good chance for you to see that they're just really not that good in long-range battles. They're not even like that good in short to medium. Like they're okay, right?
Well, look, I'm cooking. We might have a guide at some point of how to play short range, but I do agree that yeah, long range just isn't quite its comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 mass-produced cards available. Mass-produced Phoenix is quite a common card. Like it's pretty good. We've seen a lot of Phoenix love from Rhenia, and we'll have to see if they're interested in the mass-produced Phoenix.
We saw improved, we saw regular. Will we see mass-produced?
Yeah, exactly. Taking their time, so I imagine thinking about it. Meanwhile, Bacon clicked the efficient tech, spent some of the money. I don't see any techs picked up just yet, but yeah, probably just bought the fangs maybe.
Yep, picked up those fangs on the side. I mean, they've been working real well for him last round, so setting up some late fangs here seems sensible. Although currently he is the one pushing in.
We got the mass-produced birds.
Oh, the trifecta. It's been completed in this show match.
Yeah, for real. Setting up some good missile strike targets in the future. Gonna be pretty juicy. Gotta be a little bit careful. We did see the missile interceptor on the 2 Sabertooths. I mentioned that I think that's a bit of a mistake, and I don't know. It's not that expensive, so it's not the end of the world, but
yeah, he picked up the efficient tech as well, right? So it's only 100.
Oh, good point.
Kinda would like to see the Saber level though, but he didn't have the money for it just yet. Arclight there for Fried Bacon, gonna try and deal with the remaining crawlers. And anti-air though, not the best here. Seems like the Phoenixes should just prevail. I don't think the Fangs will be able to clutch up.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's just like a lot of birds, right? I mean, honestly, maybe it's kind of close. The left, I think the Phoenixes surely got it. Oh my god, okay, yeah, the Phoenixes just got it everywhere.
They are squishy, so they do take quite a fair bit of damage even from those level 1 untacked fangs, but there'll be a minor air win here for Rhenia.
Yeah, it was pretty low, by the way. 3,000. I mean, sub 3,000.
By the way?
Low, by the way.
Ooh, improved Sledgehammer.
I don't know why
that can't... Yeah, I don't know why it stands out, but it's kind of a fun one to play. 100% attack and 3 move speed. Can be scary. Can kind of turn your standard board into an aggressive board all of a sudden.
I quite like it on defense. That's usually my personal use case. Like, say I'm getting ball aggroed.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's
don't
really
need the speed.
Yeah, I'm wasting the speed perhaps, like a tiny bit, but my read is just like you already want sledges in defense, and against ball pushes, they're of course great soaking, and then you just get a bunch of, cheap damage, I suppose.
Fair enough. Well, we're not going to see it here, sadly. We're just going to get the double incendiary pickup. 2 bubbles for Fried Bacon, so quite a lot of investment into temporary stuff, the spell and the 2 devices.
Yeah, and there's so many birds. You have to imagine the bubbles do fall, so I do like that a little bit for Rhenia.
Yeah, 6 birds already.
Yeah, I mean, if you have enough, I guess you can justify losing them to the missile strikes occasionally. Although that said, maybe we just pick up Energy Shield once again.
Yeah, I think picking Energy Shield early here makes a lot of sense. You should have a bunch of money available. Yeah, even has the money to go range this turn. Your Phoenixes cost nothing, so that should allow you to tech a bit more efficiently.
Yeah, I like it. It's a pretty good setup. We'll see if like late fangs once again become a long-term problem that, determines the game. But for now, the bird tempo, pretty real.
Fire though, much better here for Fried Bacon. That is going to burn most of Rhenia's army on the right side.
Yeah, seriously, that's a value fire there, as now the marksman able to just one-shot all these mass-produced phoenixes. They're at least going to kill the saber, possibly this arclight. But, you know, at least the left side going to get the bubble. But if that right bubble lives, you're a little bit sad for what could have been.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this shapes up.
Yeah,
maybe there's like some... No. Marksman there. Oh, trying to thread the needle, but will burn.
Yep, 600 going to be going over towards fried bacon. And the missile, I think one missile, yeah, back here. So we'll see if the energy shield does come out. We also get unit reinforcements. Not really the best like long range fighters here outside of maybe Scorpion with Siege. So yeah, we'll see what they pick.
I wouldn't mind Raiden here for fried bacon. It has this like weird matchup against Phoenix where because of the targeting, it sometimes scams them. And these are mass-produced Phoenixes. They don't quite have the same amount of damage, so taking down a level 2 Raiden might take a while.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Raidens do put up an interesting fight against them, but it is also like a long enough range battle that I'm just not 100% sure it's sound.
You may not need it. I guess, okay, they will pick it up. It could just be fine to keep on the board and not tech. The marksmen have looked good in the previous round and the previous game, so scaling those further doesn't seem like a bad move either.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he got away with the marksman victory last time, and seems kind of well-equipped to do so once again. This time, though, Rhenia quicker to the Vulcan punch. And, I mean, they were pretty essential in the previous game.
Yeah, Fried Bacon was doing real well with that Vulcan investment. Hasn't gotten around to that yet. Oh, as I say that, gone is the Raiden, and here is the Vulcan.
Probably pretty good that they got that going. You know, it is pretty essential in a standard game. I mean, there's not a lot of chaff, but, I mean, if there's not a lot of chaff, then your marksmen are good, right? So, sort of a win-win there, plus you get an extra tanky body. So yeah, staying up to pace is pretty important here.
Well, let's see. Phoenix is getting some good locks onto these bigger units. Left side already pretty much entirely gone. Of course, Rhenia does have that advantage of another Vulcan and the range tech on them already.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable advantage, and finally going to take care of that bubble they were unable to get in the previous round. Down goes the tower. We're sitting at a ton of player damage here. Like, this is like almost 2k.
You're kind of just powering through. And
oh my
mind
God.
you, mass-produced Phoenixes, whilst being half the cost, still deal the exact same damage as a normal Phoenix pack. And, well, this is what it looks like. Bacon down to 1200.
God. Can't believe they're skipping the EMP there. I mean, if it hits bubbles, you're not even that sad. But
yeah,
so be
especially
it.
for Fried Bacon, like hitting all of those Phoenixes would be massive.
Was there a photon emission offered? I can't remember. I don't know if that like factors into your decision making. Holding my breath here.
Do. Yeah.
What are they gonna go for? We saw Fangs come out for Rhenia, like some. Okay, energy shield, more. Yeah, both players just like feeling the Fangs right now. Incendiary bombs picked up for Bacon though, kind of a big moment. Like maybe you should hard read that and put a crawler at the front. Or at least
he has been doing it every single game that they've played so far, so
yeah,
should
exactly.
expect that to come out. Missile this time around on the Phoenixes. I think last round he tried it on the Storms. And then, well, this round, sadly, the energy shield does come out. So Rhenia will be able to block that.
Yeah. 200 left. Whoa, actually, Bacon has a ton of money with 15 seconds left. Okay. Finds an expensive tech there. Picks up the oil. Armor penetrating bullets.
There it is.
Or I guess high explosive anti-tank shells, of course.
Stormcallers has got to be a little extra.
Yeah. It's actually going to lock onto that right Vulcan. Oh my
Oh
god.
my days, the damage.
Yeah, it was blue as well, right? So sort of like multiplied it by 4 relative to a level 1 storm. Pretty insane there. We're just absolutely crushing the Vulcan battle here. Is Rhenia. And surely that's going to help the Phoenixes get the job done against the Marksman.
Yeah, left side looking good. Late Fangs right side, though. Making an
EMP is
appearance
annoying.
once more. Yeah, EMP is quite good here. It doesn't remove the shield, of course, but it does remove the range.
Exactly. Like, taking it away from the Vulcan is the big thing here. But still, does get the round. Ooh, denying that 350 at the end. I mean, maybe it will never matter, but you never know, right?
I mean, down to 561. Rhenia, for now, still looking like he's in a driver's seat. Orbital Bombardment, though. This time around, the big spell will be picked up for Fried Bacon. Rhenia opting to not go for it, expecting some shields, perhaps.
Really not a fan of that. Like, round 7, Bombard, an S tier card. Spell, rather. Would have loved to pick it. Instead, we're getting, you know, damage on a Phoenix that, like, probably doesn't matter a heck of a lot, since we have so many of them. But in any case, yeah, would love to see the bubbles. Pretty crucial. We can see a big amount of spells on cooldown here for Bacon, so, you know, things don't get easier.
Range Vulcan now as well for Fried Bacon, double teching those giants.
Yeah, pretty nice to get that going. Not sure if Rhenia will go further into the Vulcans. Might just be good to get more of them, yeah, like go up to 5. They're such an important part of the army. And if the Fangs that are late prove troublesome, you may need to go for incendiary bombs of your own.
Yeah, keep in mind, oil is also still available for Rhenia. Oh, Shielded Fangs going to come out for Rhenia first here, though. I would love to see a shield just to protect those storms. Last round, they did great, even though they burned close to immediately. And yeah, okay, I love that.
Yep. Great bubble there. Double shot on the Marksman. Very important against the energy shield. I don't know, it seems like once again, Bacon getting to, you know, that endgame board with the Marksman that he needs, and this bombardment may be, you know, the crutch transition point that he needs to get to that final point.
Let's see. Oh, that bombard there at the end, killing 3 more Phoenixes.
Ouch. Oh my god, the Vulcan just got owned. These Marksmen's got levels, they got the double shot, they have the EMP. Just great techs crushing the right side where the orbital is. The left side, thankfully, looking okay. But in come the late Fangs, and, you know, there's only 2 Marksmen, but they're going to get some birds. Maybe all of them.
And yeah, no, that looks really good. Right side again, prevailing for Rhenia. Will he be able to mount a comeback on this low amount of hit points yet again?
Yeah, like it feels like they can. Bubble lived, by the way. See what cards we get. A Lightning Storm, please.
Oh my
days. Please.
It's getting a little rude right now. Poor Rhenia.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't shield the air, right? So the Phoenixes will be taking some damage. They are mass-produced, very fragile. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what you do here for Rhenia. Maybe the Lightning Storm helps kill those late Fangs. So I can't tell who it's better for. There's fire as well. We have an oil that's never been purchased for Rhenia, so that's an option available as well. Let's see what they go for.
Yeah, Rhenia here could try to just link the oil and the fire to set the whole board ablaze.
Yeah, like that's the most expected move, I suppose. We saw some fancy oil fire in the previous game, sort of like making a roof shape of a house, if you will, like a triangle almost, near the tower, and I think that would look pretty good here. It would get the Mustang. Is we're gonna see something similar? I mean, you definitely want to connect them, since the fire can light the oil, of course. I'm waiting for it. I guess we didn't even buy the oil yet, so maybe not a priority here for Rhenia. No bubbles.
No bubbles. And that is not going to bode too well, I think, with this storm. Fire going to land partially there for Rhenia, but I mean, man, these spells are hitting hard on Renia's side of the board.
It's pretty devastating. The left side did lose one marksman, so like the birds are heavily outnumbering the marksman. And how's the right side doing? I mean, sure, we have one more Vulcan, but those double tap marksman's going to take them down in no time. And I mean, it's close.
Actually, the chaff has just simply vanished this turn.
The tower's going to fall.
On Fried Bacon's board.
Wow. Okay, the Lightning Storm somehow not beating out the Phoenixes?
Yeah, that was a wild one. I really thought that the Storm there would seal the deal, but Rhenia managing to secure a round. And yeah, I guess the lack of marksman, because there were only 5, right? So taking down 1, which is 50% on the left side of the board, getting rid of that chaff, just allowing Rhenia to secure the round. It was very close, that tower debuff, perhaps saving Rhenia from having to go another, but yeah, very nice. GG's.